The modern dating scene often feels like a repeating loop. You spend weeks swiping and nights on disappointing dates, only to end up back where you started. It's easy to look at this cycle and assume the entire dating pool is broken. However, our internal patterns often play a larger role in these failures than the quality of the people we meet. Repeated frustration is frequently a signal of our own self-sabotage rather than a lack of good partners. We carry intense pressure from family and social circles to find the one, and that weight changes how we show up. We adopt defensive behaviors to protect ourselves from disappointment before the first drink is even served. These psychological blocks are often invisible. We spend our energy searching for a flawless person to fix our lives, unaware that our own approach is what's making connection impossible. Improving your dating life begins by looking inward. Once we address the behavioral errors we bring to the table, we stop hunting for a narrow type and start seeing the potential in the people right in front of us. Think about the impulse to project a specific image. If you think your date wants a bad boy, you might show up in a leather jacket when you'd actually prefer a sweater. You're altering your very style to fit what you imagine they want. By projecting a fake persona, you're building a connection on a foundation that doesn't exist. Notice how the diagram stabilizes when the persona is removed. Presenting your current, honest self is what allows a stable connection to form. We also tend to walk into dates with a mental checklist. We stick to a rigid physical type while simultaneously trying to force deep intimacy before we even know the person's last name. Demanding that a partner shares every niche interest, like a specific love for Star Wars, narrows your world. It prevents you from discovering a deeper psychological bond with someone who might have different hobbies but identical values. Attraction and intimacy need room to breathe. Our preferences change over time, and allowing a connection to evolve naturally rather than forcing it to meet a deadline reveals compatibility you might have otherwise missed. Trying to manufacture a persona or rush a checklist creates an artificial outcome. Authentic dating requires the patience to be honest in the present moment and let the relationship define itself. Then there is the tendency to dominate the conversation. We often spend the entire night selling ourselves, listing our dreams and goals as if we're in a job interview. This makes it impossible to see if you actually like the other person. If you're doing all the talking, you aren't leaving any space to observe their reactions or listen to their perspective. To move past these habits, we need a different framework. It's built on two specific qualities: open communication and mutual respect. As this blueprint shows, respect is the first pillar, trusting your date's intentions. The second pillar is honest communication. Being direct drops the hard-to-get act, allowing the other person to know where they stand. These behaviors work together to prevent self-sabotage. When honesty and respect are the baseline, the urge to perform, rush the process, or control the conversation naturally disappears. Focusing on these core fundamentals from the very start creates the environment for a strong partnership that actually lasts. We often treat dating like finding the missing piece of a puzzle, as if we're just waiting for someone to perfectly interlock with us without any effort on our part. Real connection is an active choice. It has to be motivated by your own happiness and genuine interest in the person across from you, rather than a desire to please your family or meet a social milestone. It's worth asking why you want to be in a relationship. If the answer is rooted in the simple joy of that person's company, you're starting from a place of strength. By setting aside rigid checklists and performative personas, you create the space to actually see the individual you're with. Pacing the interaction and staying present makes the process far more manageable. Warm. The frustrations of dating become much clearer when we prioritize authenticity over performance. When we lead with respect, we stop trying to win the date and start building something real.